Thanks. If you're unfamiliar with these apps, they host live trivia games every day on your phone for free and give away money every game. If you have heard of these games, you've probably heard about HQ. But a company down in Charleston is getting in on the game, trying to compete with that top dog in the trivia game. After what he called a disappointing first attempt at a green jacket this past weekend at the Masters, Wesley Bryan now returns here to Harbortown Golf Links on Hilton Head Island, where he won the RBC Heritage last year. And being from South Carolina, he not only sees this as defending his plaid jacket, he's also defending home turf. With the offices of President and Speaker of the Senate now confirmed that their campaigning is done. But for the top two candidates, each for Treasurer and Vice President, they're now in a special runoff election. And they'll be out here on Green Street next week campaigning for more votes. Thanks. If you're unfamiliar with these apps, they host live trivia games every day on your phone for free and give away money every game. If you have heard of these games, you've probably heard about HQ. But a company down in Charleston is getting in on the game, trying to compete with that top dog in the trivia game.
As families file into the MUSC Health Stadium on Daniels Island in Charleston for a movie night, they have no idea they're just steps away from a sleeping giant. This nondescript building just steps from the home of the Charleston Battery Soccer Club. Oddly enough, is the home of the Q. A live trivia app that hosts nightly games to thousands of viewers to try and win money. But they aren't the only players in the live trivia game. They're going up against HQ, an app started by the founders of the former social network Vine, with millions of players every night. But they're the only one that's based out of South Carolina.
Plane tickets are cheaper than rent and people in other major cities, so we have an advantage.
Will Jamison's company provides streaming services to businesses who need them, and the hunt to find clients led him into the trivia market.
When we saw HQ was struggling with their video, first thought was, hey, that'd be a great enterprise customer of ours. Didn't get a response, and figured that we could compete in the space. We felt like we'd be missing out on an opportunity if we didn't go heads down and try and compete.
Without much advertising since their launch in December, the app is still under the radar in comparison to HQ. To grow and compete, the Q will need more funding, which can be hard to come by as an unestablished brand.
Most of them are going to see 10 ideas over a year period of time, and they're going to fund 3. You know, if you are going to after venture money, you really, really have to have your stuff together. You have to know what you're doing.
This team isn't just focused on their American competition. They just launched IQ Live, the Indian counterpart to the Q, sending Will across the globe.
4 different time zones halfway around the world in places I've never been. So, I mean, it's taxing on the body, but it's also part of running a business.
Back in the Low Country, the Q team is preparing their Friday afternoon game. Quizmaster Liz Harper has been in charge of writing the questions since her first day on the job, and it's up to her to make the game challenging but not impossible.
I'm not here to just like ruin people's lives or anything like haha gotcha, but you also want to make it fun for people and you want to have a few people win.
And the man in charge of reading those questions most days is Joseph Monahan, or J-Mo as he's known around the office. And he's a stark difference to the suit-wearing Scott Rogowski, host of HQ. Even though the game is still in its early stages, he's already gotten recognized.
I was walking by a bar that I wasn't even going into, but the bouncer asked me if I was that trivia guy, so that was the first time.
J-Mo may not always be the host of the Q, but one thing about the app will remain constant.
We'll definitely stay in Charleston, South Carolina. I mean, we're growing quickly. We may outgrow this office, but we'll be in Charleston.
From the Holy City, John Wagoner, Carolina News.
If you want to play the Q, it's free to download in the App Store and Google Play. Games are daily at 5:30 and 8:30. I've been playing for a while now and haven't won yet, but I can assure you at home, you probably got a better chance to win than me, so give it a shot. Live in the newsroom, John Wagoner.
A blustery Monday morning sets the scene for the kickoff of the RBC Heritage. No traditional opening cannon blast today, but there were plenty of the tournament's iconic plaid jackets. And the newest recipient of that jacket, former Gamecock Wesley Bryan. But last week, Bryan tried for a different jacket for the first time, the green jacket of the Masters, and he says they're 2 very different tournaments.
Really not that many similarities other than there's a tee box, a fairway, a green, and a hole.
As he always does, he has his dad by his side, which means a lot to the both of them.
He's the one that taught me the game. He was the one that dragged me to all the tournaments growing up as a kid. So to be able to kind of enjoy this journey and experience together has been really special.
It's truly a privilege and an honor. I'm having a lot of fun. and everything's going by too fast, but I'm incredibly humbled.
After what he called a disappointing first attempt at a green jacket this past weekend at the Masters, Wesley Bryan now returns here to Harbortown Golf Links on Hilton Head Island, where he won the RBC Heritage last year. And being from South Carolina, he not only sees this as defending his plaid jacket, he's also defending home turf.
Obviously have some good memories around this place that I'll be able to draw on as well. So I'm looking forward to another fun week and, yeah, defending this jacket.
Some may say green looks better than plaid, but Wesley appreciates the pattern for what it means to the sport.
It looks better than a green jacket in my opinion, but there's no doubt at some point I definitely want a green jacket in the closet as well.
From Hilton Head, John Wagoner, Carolina News. For Dominique Thompson, the road to the WWE starts here on Two Notch Road in Columbia. A road paved with headlocks, trash talk, diamond cutters, and adversity.
I wrestled all through high school. I would have wrestled for USC's club team, but I tore my ACL, so I had to give that up.
People around Palmetto Championship Wrestling will tell you that injury has not stopped him yet.
And he's always been one of those guys, like, you can tell when somebody just wants it, when they actually are applying themselves, and that's why I gravitate towards Jet.
Very skilled, humble. He's kind of like the culmination of a bunch of everything you're looking for in one person.
Injuries are a given in this industry, but for Dominique and other African-American wrestlers, so is racism.
Like, we were setting up the ring, doing our thing, and then I just happened to see, like, there are a lot of bald-headed people here. What's that about? I looked down and one of them, he had like his body tatted up. He had a big tat on his calf. It was like a swastika mural. So a lot of people, they would probably be like, yo, I don't want to do this. We need to get the fuck out of here. Nah, like that's exactly what I want to work in front of. That's the exact kind of thing that I want to reach.
This hasn't deterred him either, even in the most extreme situations.
He told us point blank, they're not going to cheer for you. They will never cheer for you. And I was like, yo, okay, we'll show you. And that's basically what we did. It was a fun time with the neo-Nazis.
In the ring, he goes by Jet Black, and he is a member of the
Equal Nation Demonstration.
They describe themselves as,
it's almost like if civil rights was less about peaceful protest and more about kicking you in the teeth.
Jed and the END got the win at Spring Valley High School on this Sunday, but he told me after the match he has higher expectations.
Now that I know I have 2 working legs, I'm going to try to get these legs everywhere around the world, you know? So my next goal is to leave the country, is to take Jet Black international.
If a group of neo-Nazis and a torn ACL couldn't stop him, there may not be much that can. For Carolina News, I'm John Wagoner.